Here is something that most prepared people do not speak of. These are not expensive things that will save you in a difficult situation. It's an item worth 27 cents, lying on the bottom shelf in a store, which no one thinks about. My name is Zach. I have been preparing since 2012, and today I will tell you about 21 inexpensive items that will become truly valuable when you need them. And I am not talking about obvious things. Stay with us, because the 17th point is something you have undoubtedly never thought about, but it could become the most valuable item in your home. Let me begin with a story that happened to me in 2016. The ice storm knocked out electricity in my neighborhood for 11 days. I had food, I had water, I had a generator. Do you know what I lacked? Trash bags. Sounds absurd, right? But think about it. Without electricity, your refrigerator becomes a source of biological danger. You melt snow for water, and you need to manage waste, and garbage bags become more valuable than almost anything else I've managed to stock up. That's when I realized that preparation is not just about big purchases. These are also small but important things that make survival more comfortable. So let's move on to the first item. I'll start with something you probably already have, but I'm sure you don't have enough of it. Salt. Ordinary table salt. You can buy a package for less than $1 at most grocery stores. Before you roll your eyes and think, yes, Zach, I know about salt, listen to me. Salt is one of those wonderful substances that does much more than just add flavor to your food. She preserves meat and vegetables without a refrigerator. This is essential for making dried meat. She cleans and disinfects wounds in emergencies. It can be used to brush teeth when toothpaste runs out. It melts ice on sidewalks. You can even use it to prolong the life of clothes by preventing mold. Here's the thing. Salt never spoils. Never. You can store it for decades if kept in a dry place. In the long term, when the refrigerator is unavailable, salt becomes critically important for food preservation. Our ancestors knew this. For thousands of years, salt was essentially currency. The word salary comes from salt. Therefore, when I say stock up on salt, I don't mean to take one extra package. I mean 20 or 30 kilograms. It's cheap, lasts forever, and has more uses than almost anything else on this list. The second item is vinegar, specifically white distilled vinegar. You can buy a liter for about $3. Vinegar is a product that significantly exceeds its cost. It serves as a cleaning agent, disinfectant, preservative, and a natural weed killer. It can be used to treat minor burns and bites. Mix it with water, and you get a natural deodorant. It removes rust from tools. It is safe, non-toxic, and can be stored for many years. I always keep at least 10 liters of vinegar on hand. This may seem excessive until you realize how quickly you will deplete these supplies if you use them for cleaning, preserving food, and maintaining hygiene without access to commercial means. Moreover, vinegar is one of those items that becomes an excellent object for barter, as people do not think about its supplies until they find themselves in a difficult situation. The third important element is baking soda. This is an incredibly cheap product that costs about $1 per package. Baking soda is a kind of Swiss Army knife among household items. It can be used not only for cooking, but also for cleaning teeth, absorbing odors, washing dishes, treating heartburn and acid reflux, extinguishing small fires, and even as a natural pesticide. Like salt with vinegar, baking soda lasts indefinitely if stored properly. I probably have 20 or 30 packs that I hid in my storage room, and I consider this a minimum. Here is one useful tip I learned in 2014. If you are low on water and cannot take a shower, baking soda can be an excellent dry shampoo. Apply it to your scalp, leave it for a minute, and then comb it out. It absorbs grease and odors without using water. Not very glamorous, but when you are on the 8th day without a shower, you will thank me for it. The fourth element that might surprise you is sugar. Not honey, not maple syrup, but plain white granulated sugar. You can buy a 4-pound package for less than $3 in most stores. Sugar is another product that can last indefinitely if kept in a dry, pest-free place. Besides its obvious use in products and drinks, sugar is actually an incredible remedy for treating wounds. Medical research has shown that using granulated sugar in dressings can prevent infections and promote healing. He extracts moisture from the wound, creating an environment where bacteria cannot survive. Sugar also provides quick energy when needed, helps preserve fruits during canning, and can be fermented if you have the knowledge and equipment. In a barter trade situation, sugar quickly becomes a luxury item. Imagine how valuable a cup of coffee with real sugar will be after weeks without it. Before we continue, I want to share something directly related to what we are discussing. I understand that gathering supplies can seem overwhelming, especially when you have a limited budget. When I first started preparing in 2012, I could barely make ends meet, trying to figure out how to gather the necessary items without going broke. That's why I created a completely free guide that shows how to turn $50 into food supplies for 90 days. No joke, just $50. This guide includes an accurate shopping list with specific brands and prices, 37 essential items that most people don't even think about, storage tips suitable for any home or apartment, and even emergency meals that can be prepared without any fuel. There is also a section about which fizzy snack is perfect for barter trading. All of this is free. I'm not selling anything. I use this system myself and want it to be available to you, as preparedness should not be expensive. The link is in the description below and in the pinned comment. Just enter your name and email and I will send you the information. Your data will remain confidential. I will never disclose it, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Get it after this video or right now if you want. But in any case, let's continue, as we have 17 more points and some of them will surprise you. So, point number 5. Aluminum foil. A regular roll costs about $4 or $5 and is worth every penny spent. Aluminum foil is waterproof, resistant to high temperatures, reflects heat, and has incredible versatility. You can cook on it right over the coals, use it as an improvised plate or bowl, make a homemade funnel, create a signaling mirror for emergencies, or use it for storing food and protecting plants from frost. The enhanced durability version is a bit more expensive, but it is more durable and reusable. I keep at least a dozen rolls, mixing regular and reinforced. In the event of a power outage, aluminum foil becomes extremely valuable as it solves many problems with one simple item. The 6th item is packaging film. It costs about the same as aluminum foil but serves different purposes. The film creates airtight seals, protects wounds when bandages need to stay dry, shields items from moisture, and aids in food storage. You can even use it as an emergency shelter for plants. It's lightweight, takes up almost no space, and can be stored indefinitely. Not the most attractive item, but it will come in handy at the right moment. The 7th item is what I have already mentioned in my story, but it deserves a separate place on this list. Garbage bags, but not just any bags, a variety of them. Use cheap, thin bags for regular trash, sturdy construction bags for serious work, and medium kitchen bags for everyday use. That's why trash bags are so valuable. In addition to their obvious function, they can be used as waterproof shelters, ground covers, raincoats, water collectors, blackout curtains, improvised gloves, and emergency toilets when used with a bucket. A box of construction bags costs about $15 for 32 bags, less than 50 cents per bag for an item that can literally save your life. I have at least 3 boxes, plus several boxes of regular kitchen bags. And here's the thing. In an emergency, you will use them much faster than you think, as they might be needed for 10 different purposes, not just one. The 8th item is candles. Simple, cheap, old-fashioned candles. You can buy a pack of emergency candles for less than $5 or get caper candles and tea candles in discount stores for an even lower amount. Candles provide light but also create warmth in small spaces, can be used for cooking in emergencies, help navigate in the dark, and create a psychological sense of normalcy in stressful situations. Candles have an amazing property. They can last a long time if kept away from extreme heat. I have candles that are over 10 years old, and they burn beautifully. Diversify your candles. Buy long pillars, tea lights, and emergency candles. Different situations require different solutions. From the perspective of barter trade, when someone sits in the dark for a whole week, a candle is worth much more than what you paid for it. Number 9 is what disappeared from store shelves in 2020 and taught many people a hard lesson. Toilet paper. Yes, everyone jokes about the stockpiling of toilet paper during the pandemic, but the reason for the panic is quite justified. You don't truly appreciate toilet paper until you run out. A pack of 12 rolls of good toilet paper costs about $8 to $12, depending on the brand. It's not such a big investment for something necessary for sanitation and hygiene. How much should one stock up? I would say that you need at least 3 to 6 months' worth for all members of your family. Calculate how much you use in a week, multiply that by the needed number of weeks, and that will be your base. Store toilet paper in a dry place, and it will last for many years. Toilet paper has no expiration date. Yes, there are alternatives like bidets and cloths, which also have their value, but toilet paper is easy to use, hygienic, and frankly, worth the storage space. Number 10 is matches, but not just any matches. If you can, look for those that can be lit anywhere. Be sure to buy waterproof or storm matches. A pack of waterproof matches costs about $6 to $8 for 25 pieces. It may seem expensive for one match, but they ignite even in wind, rain, and snowfall. They are worth it. Regular matches can also serve as a backup option. They can be bought in bulk at stores for $1. Matches take up little space, last long if kept dry, and are a reliable means to start a fire. Even if you have lighters and other complex devices, matches are a dependable backup that require no skills. Stock up on both waterproof and regular matches. You need reliability when it comes to starting a fire. Number 11 is lighters, specifically disposable lighters like the classic Bic lighter. You can buy them for $1 or $2, sometimes even cheaper if purchased in bulk. Lighters are compact, reliable, and work in conditions where matches may fail. One lighter can provide thousands of ignitions before it runs out. This is how I deal with lighters. I buy them by the dozen and place them everywhere. In the emergency backpack, in the car, in every room of the house, in jacket pockets, in toolboxes. You get the idea. They're so cheap and useful that there is no point in having less than 30 or 40 on hand. In a barter situation, a working lighter will be incredibly valuable to someone who doesn't have one. Number 12 is a bit different. Ziploc bags and storage bags of various sizes. A box with a packet of 40-gallon bags costs about $4, which is just 10 cents per bag for something that keeps food fresh, helps organize small items, protects important documents from moisture, stores seeds, protects the electronics, and many other things. It is worth buying freezer bags as they are thicker and stronger. They can be washed and reused with care. It is recommended to have different sizes, from sandwich bags to 2-gallon ones, if available. These packages are compactly stored, durable, and you will constantly refer to them in any emergency situations. I probably use a box of bags every few months in everyday life, so having supplies is a sensible decision. The 13th item is duct tape. There is a joke that duct tape fixes everything. Although this is not entirely true, the truth is not far off. A roll of quality duct tape costs about $6 to $8, and it is worth every penny. Duct tape repairs gear, patches holes, secures loose items, creates splints for injuries, removes splinters, fixes shoes, mends tents, seals containers, and is suitable for 1,000 other tasks. The main thing is to choose good duct tape. Cheap duct tape breaks quickly and doesn't stick well. Use brands like Gorilla Tape or 3M. It costs more, but it really works. I keep at least 10 rolls in stock and use duct tape regularly, so I constantly replenish my supplies. If you don't know what to prepare, duct tape is an obvious choice that will quickly justify its cost. The 14th item is paracord, or universal cord. The cost of 100 feet of 550 paracord is about $10 to $15. This is incredibly cheap for such a useful tool. Paracord can withstand a load of 550 pounds, hence the name. Inside it are several strands that can be used for less serious tasks, such as fishing line or sewing thread. Paracord can be used for building shelters, securing gear, creating traps and snares, making clotheslines, conducting repairs, and making tourniquets in emergencies whenever strong rope is needed. I have several hundred feet of paracord in reserve. In addition, I have cheaper universal cords for less important tasks. Different thicknesses and strengths are suitable for various jobs. Cords are one of those things humanity has used since ancient times, and that won't change anytime soon. The 15th point is something that is not talked about enough. Safety pins. You can buy a container with various pins for $2 or $3. Safety pins help repair clothing without sewing, make improvised fishing hooks, secure bandages, organize small items, serve as pulls for zippers, and act as emergency fasteners for almost everything. They are tiny, lightweight, never lose their properties, and are incredibly useful. This is one of those items that seem insignificant until you find yourself in a situation where you urgently need them, and you don't have any. Buy several containers of different sizes and keep them in stock. You will be glad you did this. The 16th item is probably the most underrated on this list. When I mention it, it will seem obvious to you, but I'm sure you haven't stocked up on it. It's about paper products, specifically paper towels, napkins, and paper plates. A roll of paper towels costs about $2. A pack of paper plates may cost $4. These items are not meant for long-term survival, but they are incredibly useful in short-term and medium-term situations. Here's why. In an emergency situation, when water is scarce or you are trying to save propane for cooking, the last thing you need is to waste water and fuel on washing dishes. Paper plates are used once and thrown away. The same goes for paper towels and napkins. They preserve water supplies for drinking and cooking. In addition, paper products can be used as kindling for fire, for dressing wounds, as improvised filters, and for cleaning. I'm not talking about stockpiling hundreds of paper plates, but having enough for a few weeks or a month can greatly simplify a difficult situation. It's important to maintain at least some level of normalcy and comfort in times of crisis. The 17th point. This is something that will surprise you. Lip balm. The packaging of the balm costs about $1 or $2. Your lips are one of the most sensitive areas of your body. When they dry and crack, it is not only unpleasant but can also become a potential entry point for infection. Cracked lips can make eating difficult. They split and bleed, healing slowly without treatment. Lip balm is small, lightweight, long-lasting, and has many uses beyond lip care. It can be used as a fire starter, lubricant for small parts, protection for minor cuts to prevent blisters, and even as a barrier against moisture. In a barter economy, luxury items like lip balm become unexpectedly valuable. Stock up on them. Buy several dozen and scatter them in bags, pockets, and storage containers. The 18th item is soap. I know that most people use liquid soap now, including me, but bar soap is better for storage. A bar of soap costs about $1 or even less. It lasts longer, takes up less space, requires no plastic containers, and has an unlimited shelf life if stored in a dry place. Soap is critically important for maintaining hygiene and preventing diseases. In a situation where medical help is limited or unavailable, maintaining cleanliness can literally be a matter of life and death. Bar soap can be grated to make laundry powder, used to lubricate stuck screws and nails, and for marking surfaces when cutting. Try to stock up on unmarked soap, as it is more versatile and does not irritate sensitive skin. I recommend stocking at least a dozen bars per person in your home, possibly even more. The 19th item is bleach. A gallon of regular bleach costs about $4 to $6. Bleach is a powerful disinfecting and cleaning tool. 8 drops of unscented bleach in a gallon of water will make it safe to drink after it sits for 30 minutes. Bleach disinfects surfaces, processes tools, whitens clothes, removes mold and fungi, and destroys harmful bacteria. However, bleach has a drawback. It loses its effectiveness over time. The loss of potency occurs approximately 6 months to a year later. The solution is to refresh supplies, buy a new liter every few months, use the old one for cleaning, and always have fresh bleach on hand. Store it in a cool, dark place to extend its shelf life. And buy only regular bleach, not scented or splash-free versions, as additives make it unsafe for water purification. The 20th item is something most people have, but don't think about when stocking up. Batteries. A pack of 2 or 3 batteries costs about 10 to 15 rubles depending on the brand and quantity. Batteries power flashlights, radios, headlamps, and dozens of other important devices. When the electricity goes out, batteries become essential. Here's what I've learned about batteries. Don't limit yourself to one model. Look at all the battery-operated devices you have and may need in an emergency. Flashlights, radios, headlamps, lanterns, weather radios, medical devices. Record what types of batteries are needed for each of them, and then stock up accordingly. I maintain a table that lists all my devices and their battery requirements to know exactly what I need. Also, lithium batteries incur additional costs for long-term storage. Their service life is from 10 to 15 years, while for alkaline batteries, it is from 5 to 7 years. For devices that you do not use regularly but need in emergencies, lithium batteries are the best choice. The 21st item is the last on this list, and it will be extremely valuable in any goods exchange situation. Alcohol. I'm not talking about drinking alcohol, although that matters too. I mean medical alcohol, also known as isopropyl alcohol. A bottle of medical alcohol costs about 2 to 3 rubles. It disinfects wounds and tools, cleans surfaces, removes adhesives, serves as a fire starter, and can even be used as fuel for alcohol stoves. It is also a key ingredient in homemade hand sanitizers. A concentration of 70% is actually more effective for disinfection than 91% because the water content helps it penetrate bacterial cells better. As for drinking alcohol, it's a personal choice. But from the point of view of preparation, cheap vodka or whiskey can be used as a disinfectant, pain reliever, and item for trade. People in stressful situations often want something to relieve tension, and alcohol has been a commodity for trade throughout human history. I do not advocate for alcoholism, but having a few bottles of cheap liquor on hand is a good idea for bartering. So here they are, 21 items that are inexpensive, easily accessible, simple to store, and incredibly useful. Now I want to share something important. None of these items alone will save your life. Preparation is not having one magical item or one perfect plan. It is a layered approach. It is having multiple solutions for the same problem. It is about gradually accumulating supplies to be prepared for unexpected situations and not to succumb to panic. The beauty of the items on this list is that they can all be purchased during regular shopping. There is no need to make special orders or empty the wallet. Just add a few extra items to your cart each week. This week, buy some salt and sugar. Next week, take candles and matches. In a week, grab duct tape and paracord. And there you have it. You've built up a solid supply without financial strain. I would also like to discuss a question that often arises when we talk about stockpiling. Some people worry that it is selfish or resembles hoarding. Here is how I see it. There is a huge difference between preparedness and hoarding. Hoarding is the chaotic accumulation of things without purpose. Preparation, however, involves the purposeful gathering of necessary supplies, their proper storage, rotation, and having a plan. When you prepare in advance, you are actually doing good for everyone. You will not become part of the crowd that panics and hoards goods in times of trouble. You do not deplete resources needed by others. You care for yourself and your family, which means you will not be a burden on emergency services or community resources. This is responsible, not selfish. Moreover, when you have extra supplies, you can help others. I can't count how many times I've been able to assist neighbors or friends because I had spare batteries, duct tape, matches, or something else they needed. Being prepared allows you to be generous, and that's good. Now let's talk a bit about bartering, because several items from this list are perfect for exchange. In any prolonged emergency situation, when supply chains are disrupted, things that people need every day suddenly become very valuable. A lightweight lighter that cost you $1 may have an exchange value of a dozen eggs or a can of soup for someone who doesn't have such a lighter. A roll of duct tape that you bought for $6 could become equivalent to a valuable service, such as help with repairs or guarding. The key to successful bartering is having small useful items that others need but haven't thought to stock up on. Luxurious items can also work: coffee, alcohol, tobacco, sweets, spices. They are not essentials, but they make life more comfortable. People will exchange valuable items for comfort goods when they are stressed. I'm not suggesting you become a speculator during disasters. I'm saying that having extra supplies gives you options. You can help people, trade for necessary items, and build community resilience. But here's an important point. Keep your supplies a secret. Don't advertise what you have. In a real emergency, desperation makes people do things they normally wouldn't, and you don't want to become a target. And one more thing, all the items on this list have one common property. Their use does not require special skills. Using salt, duct tape, or garbage bags does not require special training. These things just work. This is important because in a stressful emergency situation, everything needs to be as simple as possible. Complex equipment requiring practice and skills has its place, but these basic items are reliable. However, having practical skills significantly increases the value of your supplies. The ability to preserve food makes your salt and vinegar more valuable. Knowledge of first aid enhances the effectiveness of your bandages and alcohol. The ability to start a fire in various conditions makes matches and lighters more reliable. I always advise people to learn skills alongside stockpiling supplies, as things can run out or break, but knowledge and skills stay with you forever. Let me summarize with a few last thoughts. The biggest mistake beginners make in preparation is thinking they need to buy everything at once. They get overwhelmed, spend a lot of money, and ultimately lose interest. It's unsustainable. Start small. Choose 3 or 4 items from this list and focus on accumulating them over the next month. Next month, select a few others. Gradually and purposefully build up your supplies. Secondly, don't forget to update your stock. Use what you store, and store what you use. It helps keep everything fresh, prevents waste, and ensures you really know how to use your supplies when needed. It's the difference between having things and being prepared. Thirdly, involve your family or household members in this process. Discuss why you are doing it. Make it a team effort. When everyone understands the plan and knows where the supplies are stored, your level of preparedness increases. Moreover, it reduces stress and anxiety, as everyone feels more confident knowing there is a plan. And finally, remember that preparedness is ultimately related to peace of mind. It is the confidence that, no matter what happens, you have options. You are not dependent on the work of stores or the functioning of supply chains. You can take care of yourself and your loved ones. This gives strength, and this is the essence of preparation. If you haven't done so yet, be sure to get the free guide I mentioned earlier. It will help you create food supplies for 90 days for just $50, and it will also tell you about all the other necessary things for preparation. It is completely free. I sell nothing and sincerely want you to receive it, because the more people are ready, the stronger our communities will become. If this video was helpful to you, please like it so more people can see it. Write in the comments which items from this list you plan to stock up on, or tell me what I missed and what you think should be here. And if you are not subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button, because I release similar videos every week to help you prepare smarter, not harder. Thank you for watching. Remember, readiness is a journey, not a destination. Start from where you are, use what you have, and grow from there. Until we meet again, stay safe, be ready, and take care of yourself.